It really does. Like, come on.
Was there someone that like knowing this group and having watched, was there someone you kind of, I don't know if feared is the right word, but like we have like the shade assassin in Kenya, we have the bone collector and Sheree, Marlo's no joke. Like just coming into this, like, were you like, this is the person I'm kind of worried about the most?
I really didn't worry about anyone. Like I know that everyone plays their part and position, but it's funny. Like I said, I've been knowing of the ladies, like most of the ladies in Atlanta, and everyone like we respected each other. They'll see me out, they're like show nothing but love. So I'm like, okay, we all we know of each other. It's gonna be cool. But then again, I'm like, okay, should I worry? Because once the cameras come on, it could be a different ball game, And so it's funny. Like I had a few people who were like, okay, watch out for this person, watch out for that person. For instance, Kenya, like everybody's like, oh girl, watch out. I'm like, me and Kenya, like we knew each other through Kandi. But we were building this friendship and she's so funny, so cool. We actually talk almost like every other week. And, we've seen each other since we stopped filming. Like she's really, really cool. And I'm like, oh, and I love that you get to kind of see that this season too. She's hilarious and just more lighthearted. So I love it.
Were you shocked at how lighthearted she was and like all these people warning you about her? Like, were you shocked at just how this isn't the Kenya that I was warned about?
Right. Well, I definitely, and I told her that too. I was like, girl, listen, what do you be doing to these people, girl? But no, we laughed about it. But yeah, I love it. Yeah, I was a bit taken aback, like, okay, so yeah, this is good. And we're friends. So I love it.
Did Kandi warn you about anyone in particular? I mean, she's had her ups and downs with a few in the group.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like you kind of see that play out this season when I was trying to be the peacemaker between her and Miss Marlo, honey. And so she was like, all right, girl, you're trying with this niceness. But so yeah. Yeah, and I really, really see now watching the playback. So honey, but we will talk.
Well, here you are, and you can talk all you want. You did try to play the peacemaker between, Kandi and Marlo, especially on one of the cast trips. Marlo for 10 years, like she didn't have her peach. Now she has her peach. Kandi was like such a proponent of her getting that peach.
Yes.
I mean, were you shocked? Because I mean, I was shocked that like Marlo and Kandi are the last two I would ever think would go at it.
Listen, being there, experiencing this, I was so blown away. I really was. And it's crazy. Like I said, we film so much and you don't, unfortunately, they can't show everything. But I was sitting right across from her at the standoff, whatever it was between Kandi and Marlo, right? And I'm like talking to her to a point where like, look, she gave me a little shade, but I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's just, maybe she's in the argument with her. She's still heated. Let me just let it slide. Like, it's nothing to me. You know what I mean? Whatever, girl. And she's like, I'm not going to give her a moment. I'm like, is she talking to me? So I'm hitting my husband like this. I'm like, yo, do you hear her? Like, I'm really heated. I don't know if you can see my faces on some part of the scenes. And I'm like, Marlo, no, like that's low, because I know. See a little few people saying like, okay, well, you need to speak up more. Honey, I was speaking up because I go hard for my friends. I really do. And like I said, it's a deleted scene that didn't make it where I'm actually talking to her, telling her how it's not cool. She apologized to Todd. Todd forgave her. Kandi walked off because she wasn't ready. It was just so much happening. And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I should listen to Kandi. Even in the moment, she's like, girl, you're too nice. Like, and I'm like, well, and we also, Marlo and I found out we had a mutual friend as well, outside of this. So I was like, okay, well, I always like get to know that person, like that's just genuinely who I am. And one thing about the show, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm not going to turn up for the cameras unless I have to, unless they're coming directly at me. But of course, Kandi's my girl, so I'm going to take up for her or whatever. So, but I have to do it in my own authentic way. And so now the playback, and then hearing how when I'm walking over to try to get her why, about what happened and how she went so hard, this girl shaded the hell out of me, talking about, I guess Kandi let Monyetta. I'm like, oh, hell no. And see, and that's when I have a problem. So I don't like that, like at all. So I'm like,
and, okay, yeah, you spoke up to Marlo in that scene. It's just that we just didn't see it.
Yeah, I definitely did. And, I agree with Kandi, because I don't play about being a mom and you can't just turn it off, and I get it, but I was really trying to figure out the why. And I understood where Kandi was coming from. And they were saying, Kandi started, her and Sheree was saying it. I'm like, I didn't necessarily agree with that. And Kandi thought that I agreed with it. I'm like, girl, no, damn well I wouldn't agree with that, but hey, it is reality TV and it's, it was a great scene.
Did you ever feel like in that scene, like, okay, well, like Marlo, where someone is coming at you, not for you, but just like, I'm guilty by association. I'm friends with Kandi. Like, I didn't really start this. Like, why are you coming at me? Or is it like, no, I'm going to ride hard for my friends?
Well, my thing is, I just knew that she was trying to, what I thought she was trying to get her point across and hear what I had to say about it. But clearly she wasn't trying to hear a damn thing that I was saying. She was just trying to convey what she wanted to convey and wanted me to go back and tell Kandi. And like I did, unbeknownst to me, that it was all like a little part of the plan. And so, yeah, so I definitely didn't like that playback. And it just really showed me, who she is. And I'm like, okay. And it's very disheartening, but I definitely, one thing for sure, people will show you who they are. And just watching it and seeing how she's been friends with Kandi the longest, I'm like, girl, I wouldn't want to be friends with someone like that. Like, that's not cool. It's not how you treat a friend. So it's, yeah. And like I said, it's been some little things throughout the season. I'm like, oh, wait, so was it shade all along, So.
Do you think, because a lot of people, like there's two schools of thought. There's a lot of people that are like, Marlo has her peach and she's carrying this whole season. She is bringing it. And a lot of other people are like, girl, you got that peach and you're throwing everything under the kitchen sink in there and just, it's not all about you and you're trying too hard and this isn't authentic and just chill out. Yes. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but which camp are you in and how do you feel about these two schools of thought?
Listen, it's a lot of talk, honey. The streets are talking, and not just the streets of Atlanta, the streets of what my girls say, worldwide, the worldwide streets are talking. And it's just like I feel like she's coming too hard, especially like I said, she's been knowing Kandi the longest and like they've really been friends. And for her to do that, that's why I was sitting there like really shocked. And I expressed myself. It wasn't like, just don't come for my friend, because then they're going to be like, why is she coming so hard? That has nothing to do with her, So I just definitely took a step back and handled it like I would handle it if the cameras were not here, and just really ask her the questions, and listen to her, and brought it back to Kandi, like, okay, well, maybe y'all should talk. But like I said, watching the playback, I'm like, girl, she was doing too much in my opinion. And honey, them streets talking about, I see, take Marlo Peach, give it to Monyetta. I'm like, what? Maybe that's why she didn't want to give me a moment. Like, I don't know. I am a friend of the show. Like, she's been a friend of the show for a very long time. So maybe, I don't know. I might have been a little threatened too, girl. So I don't know what's going on.
I was just going to say, like, do you think Marlo's threatened by you or?
I mean, like, she does her thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need like a balance of the show, in my opinion. Like, you need the sensible one that can get turned up when need be, and you need, you want to bring the girls together. And I bring fun energy, like just positive love, like genuine. That's really who I am. You can ask anyone who knows me. And